There are a lot of mobs in Hytale, and I mean a lot. 150 to be exact. Each zone has mobs that help you distinguish between each zone while also perfectly fitting in with their required zone. Today everybody, I'm going to be telling you guys every single mob that we know of in Zone 1 so far and where we can find them. But before this video starts, if you are new here and you are enjoying my content, please hit that like and subscribe button for more weekly Hytale content like this. And also guys, 62% of you guys who watch aren't subscribed. It'll mean the world to me if you guys can help me get that down to like 50. I'm trying to reach 10k by the end of the year. So that being said everybody, my name is CanadianFlash and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, what's going on? CanadianFlash, you guys, and just like the title and thumbnail of this video suggests, I am going to be talking about every single mob that can be found in Zone 1, and man guys, there is a lot of mobs that can be found in Zone 1. Literally a third of the mobs can be found in Zone 1, so this video will probably be longer than the other ones that I make for all the other zones, but hey, I'm telling you guys every single mob that can be found in Zone 1, where we can find them, and maybe a little extra about him if I can think of something off the top of my head. Also, you guys will be seeing gameplay of whatever I can find for mobs in the background, so let's get right into this. The first mob in the alphabetical order list in Hytale and in Zone 1 is going to be the bat. The bat can be found in pretty much every single zone, so it looks like it'll be on a couple of these lists. But the bat can be found in the caves of Zone 1. We're not really sure what it eats or anything, but it's a bat, probably eats whatever. The second mob is going to be the Bison. This can be found pretty much anywhere in Zone 1, maybe besides like the swampy areas. We see it being chased by a couple of Quebec, so maybe it interacts with some Quebec villages. The blue bird can be found in Zone 1. We're not really sure where. It looks like in this one screenshot we only have one image of it. It's on this little hut, so I would assume it's a bird. You can find it in any area of Zone 1. Another animal that can be found in the anywhere in Zone 1 is the brown dog. There's a lot of different dog species in Hytale. I'm pretty sure you can probably find the brown dog in Zone 1. Maybe you'll find it in Zone 2 or Zone 3, but I find that highly likely. And there's a lot of other dog species which we'll get onto a little bit later in this video. The brown owl can be found pretty much anywhere in Zone 1 once again. It's just one of those super popular mobs that you'll find probably coming out at nighttime. I'm not sure how it'll work during the day. Maybe you'll find it sleeping on some branch or something and it'll hunt at night. We're not sure. The bull can also be found pretty much anywhere in Zone 1. It looks to be a mob that'll probably be around some sort of human settlements if there are any. Maybe you'll find it in some sort of like old ruins and maybe you can tame it and use it as your own. The cat, just like the dog, there's a bunch of different like varieties of cat. I'm pretty sure we've only seen a black cat so far, but I'm pretty sure there'll probably be other ones, maybe like a white cat, a brown cat, who knows, maybe like some sort of alley cat. But the cat can probably be found in anywhere in Zone 1, just like the dog and everything else. The cattle is very similar to the bull. It looks a little bit different if you ask me, but the cattle can be found pretty much anywhere in Zone 1 once again. It is just a very common mob that you can probably tame and make a farm out of. Speaking of farm, we also have the chicken. The chicken can be found pretty much anywhere in Zone 1, maybe besides like some of the little swampy areas. I'm not sure if chickens like swampy areas, but yeah, it's a chicken. You can find it, maybe keep it, and definitely want to keep the chickens away from foxes because foxes hunt chickens, so keep them in a pen. The crawler looks to be in the more of the like darker slash like underground areas of Zone 1. I believe the crawler can also probably be found in any of the zones as well. So look out for the crawler because you probably don't really want to fight it unless you're properly geared. The crow is a mob that can be in pretty much any of the zones. We've seen it in Zone 1. It is literally flying above in like the first couple seconds of the trailer. And then there's also a screenshot that I have of it, which I think is Zone 3. So this is why it leads me to believe that this the crow can be in any single zone. Next up is the deer, and I believe we will be able to find the deer in the foresty areas of Zone 1. Not really much else is known about the deer besides like there's female and male deers, you can tell by the antlers, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Next up we have the Dinofrog, the thick boy dummy thick frog. We're not really sure what to call it, but I'm going to call it the dummy thick frog. This frog can probably be found in the swampy areas of Zone 1 as seen in this screenshot. The duck can probably be found anywhere near any water areas in Zone 1. That's pretty much all I have to say about the duck. It's just the duck. Next up is Duke, and Duke is what looks to be a mini boss or maybe even a full-on boss for Zone 1. You can find him in the underground like goblin tunnels or goblin caves. You don't really want to fight him. He literally kills people, so have fun with that. Next up is the Fen Stalker, and the Fen Stalker can be found in any of these swampy slash marshy areas of Zone 1. Key fact, you guys don't know that if you drop a little bit of fish, it can actually lure a Fen Stalker into something, to like dropping its guard down. Also, they're quite friends with frogs, so don't go hunting frogs in a swampy area because you might be attacked by some Fen Stalkers. After the Fen Stalkers, we have the Fox, and the Fox can be found in pretty much any area. I would say more like foresty slash plainsy areas of Zone 1. They hunt Jackalope, and they also hunt chicken, so that's some really cool mob interaction right there. I mentioned this before, but the Frog is another mob that can be found in Zone 1. They get protected by Fen Stalkers, so you don't want to go around killing frogs, because then the Fen Stalkers will attack you. Speaking of dogs, earlier in the video we talked about the brown dog. Next up is the ginger dog. I think it'd be really cool if you can just find these randomly in like Zone 1. I don't know if they'll just wander around, or maybe like you find like a wolf and domesticate it and becomes a dog. I'm not really sure, but ginger dogs, super cool. Can't wait to tame one of them. Goblin Bomber and Goblin Warriors are two Goblin mobs that can be found in Zone 1. The Goblin Bomber, hence by the name, throws bombs, and the Goblin Warrior has more of like a axe, sword, maybe other type of mix going on over there. They can definitely be found maybe on the surface of Zone 1, but I believe they'll be found in like the Goblin Caves of Zone 1. Another mob that you do not want to anger is the Grizzly Bear. This animal is going to be found in Zone 1, likely to be found in some sort of like foresty areas, and maybe if it hibernates in its own caves. Also, do not attack a grizzly bear cub, because the mama will probably be coming right behind it to defend it. Now, diving into the water of Zone 1, we have the Hammerhead Shark, and we see in one screenshot that a Hammerhead Shark is swimming with some Fen Stalkers and other Hammerhead Sharks near a shipwreck, and it looks to be some sort of swampy environment, and that leads me to believe it's Zone 1, so the Hammerhead Shark will be in Zone 1. Definitely don't want to fight those guys. Another mob that gets hunted by the Fox is the Jackalope, and this is another mob that you'll probably find in the forest areas or even the plains areas of Zone 1. I think it'll be really cool if we can also tame these mobs and keep them as pets. That would be really awesome, and keep them away from foxes. The Klopp is the wandering trader of Hytale. You could probably find the Klopp in every single zone, but from now we see the Klopp in, I believe it's Zone 1, and also some like hypixel screenshots, which is kind of weird, but the Klopp has its own little hidey huts, and if you maybe attack or raid it, you can probably get some pretty basic loot, and maybe to fight a Klopp, who knows. Now we're moving on to the biggest faction of Zone 1, and this is the Quebecs. There are a bunch of different Quebecs. We have the Quebec Ancestral Elders, Quebec Seedlings, Quebec Tree Singers, Quebec Warriors, Quebec Razorleaf Rangers, and there's probably a lot of other ones that we haven't seen. Like, we've seen a Quebec wearing some sort of like pink stuff, so I don't know if that's like some Princess Quebec, who knows, but all these Quebecs will definitely be found in their little tree houses in Zone 1. Maybe you'll have to save a few of them from little torque cams, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but Quebec's definitely another really popular mob. I don't know if you heard of a guy named Quebec Corner, but like he's based his whole channel off of those little cute little dudes, and hashtag save the Quebecs. But you know what we're not saving? The moss horns. Hashtag burn the moss horns. The moss horn is a disgusting disgrace of a human creature ever created that'll be found in the swampy areas of Zone 1. If I were you guys, I'd grab like a flamethrower and start running around the little moss horns and just, you know, lighting them up, burn them down. You know how it is. It's just one of those little hatred things. But yeah, moss horns, another mob. Sadly, it's going to be in Zone 1. But yeah, can't wait to, I'm going to speedrun killing a moss horn. I think that'll be really cool. The mouse is a really cool mob that could be found in pretty much every single zone. The mouse, you know, if you give it cheese, I believe, I think it leads you to some treasures or something like that, which is really cool, so definitely do that. The orange frog, this was actually pointed out by Jamble a couple months ago, and I think it's in the trailer actually, so good catch there, Jamble. The orange frog, we have 3 frog variants. We have the big boy dummy thick frog, so far we have the green frog, and now we have the orange frog. This was seen in a Quebec village, so maybe they'll be found in Quebec villages, so it's really cool. Or probably just any wet area in Zone 1. The pig is a mob that'll probably be found like near the sheep and the cattle, like kind of just like Minecraft, just roaming around the plains. The pigeon is a mob that you'll probably find in the air. I think this is Bootycat's favorite mob in Hytale, which is kind of funny. I guess he's a pigeon type of guy, so pigeon's another mob. You can probably give it some seeds. They'll probably walk around with their little necks. Also, they throw daggers for some reason, so watch out for the pigeons. The rat is just like the mouse. You can probably find it in some like caves in Zone 1, maybe in any other zone as well. I don't know if the rat will lead you to treasure though. Also, just like the pig and the cattle and everything, the sheep is another mob that can be found in Zone 1. It's probably another mob that you can add to your farm collection, and yeah, maybe it'll give you wool if you shear it or something. The skeleton archer is a really cool mob that I like in Zone 1. Like, I like the skeleton whole aspect. Like, you can find skeletons in every single zone. You could probably find skeleton archers in every single zone, except they'll look a little bit different, which is really cool. Like, the skeletons, they like change their look depending on each zone, which is kind of cool. So Skeleton Archer, another cool mob you can find in Zone 1. The Sparrow is a cute little bird, really big head though, which is kind of funny. Sparrow, really cool mob you can find in Zone 1. Just probably like the Pigeon, you can maybe give it seeds and it'll follow you. I don't know. The Spider is a little bit of a more dangerous mob that you can find in Zone 1. They are quite big and they could probably pack a punch, but Spider, really cool mob you can find in Zone 1. The next up is the second faction that we have in Zone 1, and these are the Torques. We have the Torque Hunter, the Torque Sentry, the Torque Chieftain, the Torque Warrior, and the Torque Shaman. All super cool mobs. I love every single one of them. They're all awesome. And definitely cannot wait to raid my first Torque camp because, you know, they attack Quebecs and we cannot stand for that, guys. Hashtag save the Quebecs. The Void Spider is looking to be the final boss of Zone 1. Really cool mob that's underground. I hate spider fights in video games. Like, if you ever had to fight a giant spider in Ark, you know how much of a pain that is because they put you in webs and it's super annoying. Hopefully the Void Spider doesn't do that, but once again, it probably will. And it's another super cool mob in Zone 1. The Wolf looks to be the mob that the Torque, I believe it's the Torque Hunters, have domesticated and become their own pets. I said earlier maybe you can domesticate the wolves and make them into dogs, but we're not really sure. But the wolves will be a mob that you can find in the foresty areas of Zone 1. Next up we have the Zone 1 Golem, and this mob was just released quite recently, which is really cool. I really like this cute little dude. He looks like he protects the little element crystals, which is adorable, and I cannot wait to see him in the game because he's adorable. And after that we have the Skeleton Warrior and Skeleton Mage. This could also go with the Skeleton Archer as well, but these are just mobs that you can probably find at nighttime or defending or fighting some like ruins or anything. You'll fight them and then boom boom you get loot and stuff like that. And the last mob in Zone 1 is going to be the Zone 1 Void Eye. Just like the Zone 1 Golem, these were announced in the same postcard and I cannot wait to see this in game. It looks like a Void Eye, but like it's not corrupted, so that's really cool. So maybe every single zone will have their own different like Void Eye that's not corrupted, and there's a corrupted form of them, who knows, but this can be found probably around element crystals, around some sort of magic-y areas in Zone 1. So guys, that is every single mob that we know of so far in Zone 1. I will continue this series and do all Zone 2 mobs, all Zone 3 mobs, and all Zone 4 mobs. Maybe I'll talk about something else a little bit later, I'm not sure, but if you guys did enjoy and you did learn something in this video, then please go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe. The goal is to reach 10K by the end of the year. And with all that being said, everybody, let me know if you guys in the comments if you want me to stream my live reaction to the Game Fest and maybe even E3, because Hytale might be there and I think it'd be really cool if they show up. So guys, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.